Hello everybody, it's Missy Doobop here, and as you could probably tell from the title and thumbnail of this video, I've finally gotten around to designing the evolutions for the fire starter of my Fakemon region. In case you haven't seen the video where I did design my starters, make sure you go check it out up there in the iCard, and I'll have a link to it down below in the description. You guys have had some great ideas of your own for these evolutions, and I took inspiration from a lot of them, so thank you to everyone who shared their ideas. I don't want to take too long with this intro, but I do have some updates to share about my grass starter line. So if you just want to see the design process of the fire starter evolutions, here's the time to skip to. So like I was saying, for Kuvine's evolutions, my grass starter, if you haven't seen that video where I designed these evolutions, make sure you go check it out. I asked you guys if you maybe had any name ideas. I also asked if the final evolution should end up being a grass dark type or a grass fighting type. I'm still waiting to decide on all the final typings until I have all 3 starter evolution lines done. But I have decided on the names for Kuvine's evolutions. So allow me to reintroduce you to Feline, whose name was suggested by this commenter. For this name, they combined feline and kept the vine part of Kuvine's name. I really like how it, keeps up the naming theme with Kuvine's name, but it also introduces that feline part to the name. And Florophilis, whose name was suggested by this person. They combined Flora and Dinophilis in a way I love. For those of you who maybe don't know, the Dinophilis is a type of extinct saber-toothed cat. I really like how they included this in the name. I thought it was very clever. I would have never come up with that. Thank you both so much for your awesome name ideas. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I say that choosing the names for these Pokemon was very hard. There were so many awesome ideas from you guys. Just because I didn't choose your name doesn't mean I don't like it or I don't like you. You all did a wonderful job with your name ideas. So much better than I would have done, like really. So thank you to everyone. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get to designing Slaze's evolutions. I'll be starting off with the middle evolution, even though I actually designed the final evolution first, but details, it's fine. Let's just say that Slaze and its final evolution are, well, pretty different. So I knew it was going to be really important to have a middle evolution that tied the two together. I already had its personality in mind, a personality that this comment suggested. This person suggested giving the evolution a hot-headed personality, and it will often get angry with everything and everyone. I love the idea that the 3 middle evolutions represent the 3 more common kinds, so to say, of teenagerhood. Feline represents the kind of teenager who doesn't really know who they are anymore. They're just trying to get through this stage of life to the light at the end of the tunnel. And this design I'm about to make hopefully represents the kind of teenager who's feeling a little rebellious, wanting to break free of their parents' grasps and become their own person. And Paringo's middle evolution is going to represent... What? You really think I'd spoil that for you? Huge thank you to the person who suggested this idea. I really like it. Anyway, like I was saying, I had the personality of this Fakemon in mind before I sat down to draw, but design-wise, I was a little stumped. I started off with just, making the basic snake body shape. I wanted to take inspiration from a hooded snake, thinking maybe I could make like a crust of rocks around the hood or something like that, but I was, once again stumped, so I moved on to the head, making the flame-like part. I really wanted these flames to appear more like hair for this design, like a cool little mohawk thingy. I thought that would be a cool addition, and I thought about having smoke come out of its nostrils, but I just didn't like how that was looking, and I thought that might cover up some of the important facial features and stuff. I then worked on the eye, giving it a slitted pupil. It was at this point that I decided I really wanted to embrace the emo/rebellious aspect of this Pokemon's personality. I wanted to give it a eyeliner-like eye, kind of like how some kinds of teenagers are portrayed in the media. I then drew it again, bigger this time. I was struggling with the hood, trying to figure out, how to make that crust of rocks work, and I was thinking that maybe it could have some sort of deceiving pattern on its hood, kind of like Arbok, but I eventually decided that the hood just didn't really fit, especially with its final evolution. I gave it a choker-like necklace made of rock, because this is going to end up being a fire rock type, and I thought the choker was a cool addition. The final evolution of this Pokemon takes huge inspiration from the Quetzalcoatl. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. As you know, if you've watched, any of my past videos, I'm pretty bad at pronunciation. And if you're new, hey, welcome. Feel free to click that subscribe button down below the video. Sorry, just a little plug there. We're moving on now. But these Quetzalcoatls are typically portrayed with wings and feathers, so I added some aspects of it here and there throughout the middle evolution. I then added little pools of lava so that it looked like spots that some snakes have. I also added the rattle made of pebbles and stones at the end of its tail, like Slaze has, but I wasn't recording then. I also drew this little face thing. That was pretty fun. And really, that was kind of it. I know there's not a ton to this design, and it's kind of simple and maybe a little on the bland side, but I like it. I just am hoping that it does a good job of tying Slaze and its final evolution together. I present to you all Slaze's evolution. Yeah, I don't have a name for this Pokemon or its final evolutions, so if you have any ideas for the names, feel free to share them down below in the comment section. But even though I don't have any names, I do have some other information for you. Let's take a look at that. The hot-headed Pokemon. This Pokemon is very hot-headed and gets worked up easily. It tends to spend its time basking in the sun and is now able to handle its internal heat, unlike its pre-evolution. This is a good thing because the more angry it gets, the hotter this Pokemon gets. What do you guys think of this little dex layout? I decided that I wanted to make one and I thought it'd be good to give you guys some more information. And I actually had a lot of fun, laying this out and stuff. What do you think of it? Is it helpful? That kind of stuff. Would you like to see it for future videos? Just let me know down below in the comments. Thank you. Anyway, what do you think of this design? Would you have taken a different approach, maybe? Feel free to let me know down below in the comment section. But now, it's time to design Slaze's final evolution. Like I mentioned earlier, this design is going to take huge inspiration from the Quetzalcoatl. I also had multiple comments that suggested making this evolution like a snake dragon and awesome things like that, feathered serpents, that kind of stuff. So that's what I'll be doing. I didn't actually know, anything about the Quetzalcoatl until, I designed this Pokemon. And now I'm absolutely fascinated with it. The Quetzalcoatl is a deity in Aztec culture and literature. He is the god of life, light, and wisdom, lord of the day and the winds, and ruler of the West. His name means precious serpent or Quetzal feathered serpent. Because of this, most artists' depictions of this deity are serpent-like dragons, who are feathered and sometimes have wings. There are many carved depictions and statues of this being, so I thought it would work well with the rock typing. After I learned more about the Quetzalcoatl and reading your guys' idea, I was ready to jump right in. I pulled up some reference images and started off with trying to create an epic pose for this Pokemon. I sketched out one, but I didn't think it would work, so I tried a different one. Once I was satisfied with the pose, I started with the head. When I was reading the Wikipedia article about the Quetzalcoatl, I think it's just getting worse as I say it, I saw this picture of a sculpture of his head. After I saw this, I wanted to make this Pokemon's head somewhat embrace this sculpture. I really wanted to make the head look like it was made of stone, which it is, I've decided. I made some feather/rock shapes around its head, not yet deciding if they'd be feathers or rocks. I worked on dividing its mouth, because I really wanted it to look segmented and rock-like. I then gave it a necklace-like cluster of rocks. Quetzalcoatl wears a wind breastplate, or this word, around his neck. It's made of a conch shell and was most likely worn as a necklace by religious rulers. I thought this was cool and would just be a fun little detail I could add to the design. So I gave it that rock necklace I was talking about. I then gave a vague silhouette of the wings, trying to figure out where to position them. I then added a crown made of rocks, because this person had some awesome ideas, one of which was that this Fakemon thinks of itself as a king, or a ruler type, I thought this fit very well, considering that Quetzalcoatl is a deity, in Aztec culture, and that's like more than a king, And they had the idea to give it a crown, so I thought that was a great idea and a nice little detail. I added a second pair of wings, smaller ones this time. I then tried out a few different things like spots, which I thought I could turn into pools of lava. I messed around with a few things and used the pose I had discarded to try to get a different perspective of the design. Like I said, I was messing around with a few things like rings of rock around the Pokemon's body, connecting the wings to the body with chunks of rocks and stuff like that. I then thought about having lava flow from said chunks of rock, and I really liked that idea, so I added it. I also gave it a rock rattle, at the end of its tail, which I knew I wanted to keep the whole evolution line, they'd all have something in common. I drew it again, bigger this time, and I tried out a few different approaches to the rock face, until I settled on one I liked. I added the rock/feather things, the necklace, the wings, and the flowing lava. I then, added the rattle tail, and some rock rings, which I end up removing in the final design. Speaking of which, This, my friends, is Slaze's final evolution. I'll be honest with you guys and tell you it took me a little while to decide on colors that fit well together for this guy, but I'm pleased with the final results. Once again, I don't have a name decided yet, so if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know down below in the comment section. But just like with its pre-evolution, I do have a little bit of info for you. This Pokemon's veins flow with burning hot lava. The rock-hard exterior of this Pokemon serves as a shield against its eternal lava. They expect respect from other Pokemon, and in return for this respect, they fly around through the skies with their solid rock wings, protecting those in trouble. The Deity Pokemon, a fire rock type. And here I've got the, abilities and the height and stuff, and there's the shiny over there. But I think it's time we wrap this up. It was pretty fun to make these evolutions. I had a lot of fun learning about the Quetzalcoatl. What do you guys think of these designs? Feel free to let me know down below in the comment section. Would you choose Slaze as your starter Pokemon? I'll be tackling Poringo's, my water starter, evolutions next, so subscribe to the channel if you'd be interested in seeing them. It is completely free to subscribe, and if you ever decide that, nah, this maybe isn't for you, you can always unsubscribe if you want. Oh, and while you're down there checking that subscribe button, feel free to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed these designs, and I hope you're having the best of days. This is Missy Dupop, signing off. I'll see you guys next time.